Welcome to the Flag Contemplations podcast, a racing show for the fans by a fan. Welcome into this, the first episode of 2026 Caution Flag Contemplations podcast. We are here, ready to do battle yet again. The competition starts tonight. Y'all better get your picks right because we're kicking off week one. So, how y'all been doing? Having a good week so far?
Yeah, it'd be nice if we could get some Fords with some issues, though.
If anybody got a broken Ford, hit us up. We'll send you to the right dealership, okay?
But I'm doing pretty good, Casper. It's good to be back on the show, and looking forward to 2026 and see what all's in playing.
Yeah, old D-Watt, for those of you that don't know, he's on 4 podcasts this week, I believe. Is that right? 4? You got 4.
That's right. I'm a busy man. I had them Sunday, Monday, tonight, and Thursday with my niece. So I'm covered up with Sport Talk with D-Watt. It's talk about some sport, football, baseball, basketball, you name it. We're going to cover it, me and Casper, on Thursday's coming up now. So having a lot of fun for that.
Yeah, y'all be sure to check out Sport Talk at D-Watt, Sport Talk with D-Watt, Apple Podcast, Facebook, YouTube, all the good places. Spotify's probably the main one, but yeah, I don't know. It's been good. I admire you trying to do 4 in a week. That's impressive. I don't have that kind of man in me. I'm just, you're built different is what I'm trying to say. You're built different, and we'll see. But anyways, just a couple quick things here as we kick this off. 2026 gonna be a little bit different this year. How everything's going. I'm going to dial back off of doing all the socials. We're not going to hit the TikTok and the Facebook and the Twitter and all that. We're kind of going to dial her down, try to make it a little easier to find, more condensed, and all that. So we're going to be doing these a little bit earlier. So we're going to start doing our shows will premiere on YouTube at 8 o'clock every Monday. I will hopefully be doing them ahead of time by 30 minutes or so, and they will schedule for an 8 o'clock. So on a premiere, you can tune in. It's like watching a TV show, okay? Back in the day, we tuned in every Monday, 8 o'clock, NCIS. JP, I know you remember.
Oh, yeah.
Okay? It'll be the same kind of things. You guys know where to find us. Dial up your YouTube about 8 o'clock every Monday, and the show will be starting then. And then, obviously, after that, you'll be able to watch it whenever, wherever, and then sometime overnight, Monday into Tuesday. You'll see it pop up in your podcast feeds for those of you that actually listen to audio podcasts and don't do the video. So, social is going to be looking more like Facebook and YouTube Shorts. It's pretty much all I'm really planning on doing. D-Watt did a lot of our socials last year. He's got his own that he's got to take care of with his show. So I have to take back over more of that. Just trying to condense it down a little bit. TikTok's really got on my nerves way out there. So I don't even have that on my phone anymore. X, same thing. We're going to talk about that here. That might be my hot minute at the end. But, looking forward to it. See, I'll be looking at all those. And like, share, subscribe. Help us out, okay? We're going to do it. Run it back one more year. Hopefully make it a little better than we did last year, because that's the goal, is to always do a little bit better at a time. So, without further ado, I guess getting into it, y'all have any real hot topics that just burning on your mind right now? You got to talk about it that you've seen in the news, or do you just want me to kick it off?
Oh, baby, I got a little something for you, Casper.
All right.
So this new point system for NASCAR, I'm looking forward to the point system change. I like the winning you're in the past. I was just as a fan, that's what I like to see. But I get it. Teams could win early on and then not have the fire to keep winning. And then my other thought was these guys getting pretty aggressive early on for JD and Pierce, and it's getting wild out in the pit stall area, and it's getting wild on the track, and all these drivers getting aggressive. O'Neal and Pierce until getting at it on the back straightaway out west, and then it carries over to down in Florida already. I'm okay with one door slam maybe, but you start to do 2 or 3, you start to get a little carried away, and they need to work something out or figure it out. But if I was like the car owner and I get hit second time, then it's going to be on. I want to get that thing solved.
Yeah, you unboxed a lot right there of what we're going to talk about, I think. Probably that was pretty much the whole episode. We're going to spend most time talking about it. For sure need to talk about the happenings in the Wild West Shootout in Volusia 1.0. We'll definitely cover that here as we get into that. As far as the points, I guess we can go ahead and talk about the points. NASCAR points is kind of a big big topic. Going away from the chase format. Well, not the chase. Excuse me. Going away from the playoff format. Elimination race, advance, win, you're in. Going away from that. I don't know. What's y'all's general take on it? I guess JP will let you go first because I don't know what yours is. I know D was.
Going
So
back to an actual racing format. It's the best thing they've done in a long time. Racing is not a win and you're in. It's about being consistent. It's not like football. It's not like baseball. They went back to an actual racing series platform, and that's a good thing.
So you're saying that this is the only sport that takes 2 balls. That's what I'm hearing. Okay.
Yes, exactly.
All right, that's fine. D, what's your take? I mean, you like it, you not like it? Think it's gonna have any effects on the racing?
I think it's going to have some effects for sure. I think it's going to be, if you get taken out, then it could really affect your season if it happens at the wrong time. I thought it was a good compromise. Some fans wanted the full season points. Some people wanted to keep the way it was. And there was a lot of talk with some of the media, and throughout the whole year, it seemed like Mark Martin and other names that were really chiming in on opinions. And they had the announcement, and it was kind of getting close to time to make an announcement. So it finally came out, and I try not to get too caught up in all these different rules, and I just try to accept what the change is. And it was that way in the past, so we kind of got to see how with Edwards and Stewart, and those two got to kind of go out there late in the year, a couple years back. So we kind of seen some of this, and now we get to see it again. And as a fan, I like it. I think I'm good with it, and I am ready to see it now.
Yeah. So I think overall I'm okay with the decision. I do think it's a compromise for sure. The one thing that I do think is being under talked about by the media and NASCAR is that this is going to take some of your end of race moments away that we've seen over the last 5 to however long it's been of this winning you're in. Like, it's going to take away some of those late race moments because I think at this point, if you're running second, you can't risk wrecking to win the race. So you have to take your second place points and move on if you're racing for a championship. Now, there'll be some guys that are going to be eliminated pretty quick when they're still not going to care. And then if you're the leader, you kind of have to know, well, I mean, I'm racing for points. He's racing for a win. So I don't know. I think it is going to take away a little bit of excitement is the one thing that bums me out about it a wee little bit. I do think it's going to be very interesting, though. When we had this before, we did not have stage points. Those weren't a thing, right? And the stage points is definitely going to add to the strategy aspect of it. JP's a big strategy man now that he's a Formula One aficionado and all, but I actually, I'm being a smart ass, but legitimately, this is going to make this a very strategic sport because it's new. And the way that that's going to work, we're really going to see early in the year how these teams try to play it. And I think within organizations, you're going to see them play it different. The other way, it was pretty much you make this line or you win, right? With this, you can, because of stage points, are you trying to get all your points at the beginning of the race, the end of the race? What's your strategy on that? What is your average? I guess for me, I think you have to pick if you're a crew chief, okay, if we average X amount of points per race, and I'm sure, they've got stat guys and AI and all this stuff telling them, hey, if I average X amount of points a race, then we're going to be good, right? And you don't have to win at the end of the race to do that necessarily, If you win both stages and finish 5th, there's a good chance that you could have more points that day than the race winner, which granted they are given a 10-point bump to the first place there, which is a good thing for this. As far as the win and you're in, I was thinking about that in the situation like SVG. What would a 50 extra bonus points done for SVG in the point standings? That might have would have put him in the 16 points wise, I guess, at the cut. So I do like that part of it, but I do think it's going to be pretty interesting to see what some of these crew chiefs do. You obviously have your big name crew chiefs that are making these strategies. The drivers are doing what they're told, right? At the end of the day, you have some guys that love to run consistent. Chase, he's not a big, I'm just going to go out here and drive the nuts off of it and try to win the race. He's a consistency guy. So I'm curious to see, are y'all thinking that there's going to be a lot more around the stages or less? Or what's your thoughts, I guess, as far as the stage racing?
I say there'll be some more. I feel like if I was a driver or crew chief, I'd be wanting to get my points early on in the race because you don't know what's going to happen. Might have a flat tire, bad pit stop, something later in the race. So I'd want to be aggressive. I wouldn't want to sit back and wait too much. I would just try to got to get upfront qualifying. You want to qualify well, and then I'd be getting all I can.
Yeah, man,
Yeah,
I agree with that.
it's definitely going to add an element to it because, I mean, like you said, we didn't have stage points back then. So we're going to see guys, shortcutting a stage to go pit for tires or whatever if they need those points. You're going to see people lose track position in their races like that, and then they'll have to fight back from that in the end if they want to, try to win the race, or if you want to, like you said, get points early. It's just going to add a whole nother level to everything. And it's
Yeah.
going to be interesting to see how it plays out.
Yeah, I guess my thing is, with this points format, we're going back to essentially average finish will win the championship, right? I mean, that's basically where you're at. If you have the best average finish, you should have the most points. Minus if you get some wins, you get some bonus points essentially for wins. So, you look at the guys that have had the best average finish over the while. I gave D-Watt a hard time. He had a little preview show for some of his thoughts on the season over on Sport Talk with D-Watt, and I was giving him a hard time the other day about some of that. Like, he picked Blaney over there, and it's like, well, he's not necessarily consistent, but your argument back to that, of course, is going to be, well, he wasn't racing to be consistent. He was racing to win races. And so, we'll see what all these guys have, and I think this is going to help some of the guys with more experience and hurt some of the younger guys, probably. So, really curious to see what happens with it, and I just hope we get a good championship battle. I hope that, it's still a couple drivers in it, at least at the last race, with some kind of shot. So, I guess anything else on that y'all want to cover?
Yeah, I hope there's at least 2 or 3 drivers at the end. I hope for 3 would be cool, but I just hope at the end of that season, I hope it comes down to at least 2, and I hope one guy's got kind of a small lead maybe, and the other guy's going to have to make a little bit of a run, and just give me a little bit of drama, give me something to talk about, and that's my hope, is it come down to at least 2, at the end.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Not every year is going to be Carl Edwards and Tony Stewart. And there's going to be some years where somebody like a Jimmy Johnson will come and just absolutely whoop everybody's ass. And that's going to be Kyle Larson, don't you worry. But there will be some good battles eventually. We just got to let it have its time. I mean, that's how racing is. It's not always, points isn't always exciting, but I mean, that's just racing. If you're a true race fan, that's what you like, is racing.
It is racing, and I guess, like, when you put it that way, I feel like this is possibly the best balance of points and racing you can have, as far as finding that balance. So that's why I agree with D-Watt. This is a good compromise. Glad to have Mark Martin there. Glad he agreed with it after all his negativity that he was kind of pushing about the playoffs. It's good to see everybody seems to be united right now, and I'm glad for that. Especially after all the lawsuit nonsense and all that crap that we thankfully have moved on from. So definitely curious to see how it plays out. And also, I am excited to not hear anything about being locked in the playoffs at Daytona for the Daytona 500, right? Like, I think this kind of tells, we say it's too early to worry about points. You can't tell a crew chief that, but maybe they'll get their stage points and then tell their drivers to go race again, But I will say, I do think this is going to hurt some of these last lap pass type situations we've seen. So sorry for all y'all out there that disagree, but I think that's going to be a thing. If you want to start counting them, you're going to see less. You're not going to see Austin Dillon wrecking people to win races at Richmond. Should have got in, just for the record. But see.
At least we don't have to see Joey Logano win another championship for the rest of his life.
Yeah, that's true. I guess that's pretty much the biggest NASCAR news item we have was the points change. And then we'll talk here about the Clash second. Let's go ahead and switch over to our dirt segment of the show. Is that working? Yes.
Yeah, it's a little blurry, but it's in there.
We got to get some of this stuff dialed in. We're going to try to make some improvements. But real quick, I wanted to cover the Chili Bowl real quick. There's a couple things. I watched most of the Chili Bowl this year. They did a really good job getting that thing run before like 3 o'clock in the morning this year, which is something that I don't even know if y'all remember, but when I was doing the show by myself, like one of the original episodes was me basically moaning about the Chili Bowl running until 2 o'clock in the morning. So I was really excited to see that, and it was awesome. They had a lot of cars there, and I just wanted to know, is JP going to run the Chili Bowl in 2027? Do you think we can find one?
Unless we find a large sum of money.
I mean, I didn't ask if you were going to win it, okay? I asked if you were going to run it. See,
that's a lot of money to get a car and get it down there.
So I think I figured out the plan, okay? All right, just hear me out on the Chili Bowl plan, okay? I'm thinking we just go ahead and like buy $1,000 car, $7,000 car, race ready, right? It'll be fine. You can find one junker, just buy one somewhere around Millbridge, probably that somebody's getting rid of in the middle of the season. It probably don't have to run. You're a little bit of a mechanic. I can pretend to be a little bit of a mechanic. D-Watt can pretend to be a crew chief. We get this thing fired up, and all we got to do is slap that thing on a U-Haul trailer, drive to Tulsa, Oklahoma. All right? We don't need tires. We don't need a pit gun. We need this. I got a Cobalt tool set right here we can take and a hammer, and we'll just need one of those lug wrenches. That'd be the only thing we need. And then my thing is we just go out there. We run hot laps. We run our qualifying deal. We don't ever start a feature, and we drink a couple of ice cold beverages, and we hang out and have a
See,
great time.
now
Start
let
about
me
10 o'clock
explain
Saturday
how this
racing.
would really happen. We would get a rusted out piece of junk, and we'd be sitting at your house in the garage, and you and D-Watt over there would be wasted away drinking on them ice cold beers you're talking about. And me, the only one that really knows how to work on anything, over here trying to figure out how to get this thing to run. And
Listen.
you're over here recommending some that ain't going to work.
My plan is just get this thing barely running, take it up there, say we ran it one time, and sell
Nah.
it before we leave. Get back in the truck,
Nah,
drop the U-Haul
you
off,
gotta
and
get
go
something
home.
that'll actually run.
I didn't ask if you wanted to be competitive. I seen a guy out there with a
I'm not
car
saying
that
we
they
gotta be
said
competitive.
got built in 1992. Okay? Just saying. Also, just a quick mechanical fact for you. Did you happen to catch the night of the 3-cylinder car?
No, I did not.
So they had this kid, I think he was younger, maybe 17 or so. He was running the Mission Tortilla midget. And first of all, on Saturday, he absolutely started smoking them. The Super Run, I think it was a record. I think he did 11 races, maybe 10. I mean, he was just absolutely on it. I mean, this thing had 4 ratchet straps on it by the end of his Super Run because, like, he had hit people. But it was a 3-cylinder, which I thought was pretty wild. So
It's interesting.
I'm just curious when we're going to get a 3-cylinder and a late model down here, and we'll call it the
It's not gonna
3C.
happen.
Then we call them the 603s, baby. Can be the 603. Can we make a 3-cylinder crate motor? The
Probably.
603 class. So
Go get you an old Geo tractor and take the motor out of it and put it in there. It'll work.
Yeah. I mean, I was thinking, we could probably find, a little Ford motor and just shove it in a junked out midget and weld her shut, get you a helmet. We're good to go, baby. I mean, that's what's awesome about the Chili Bowl is like you don't have to do anything. It's kind of like the Dome. Like it's just a big party of race fans, and I kind of want to go. I'm kind of jealous. So if anybody wants to donate a midget or at least get us a decent deal so we don't get completely ripped, hit us up at Flag Contemplations Podcast on Facebook. And that's going to be the goal, is to have JP run the Chili Bowl 2027, all right? I don't have a whole lot more on the Chili Bowl. Oh, Kyle Larson got screwed. I got that for you. Car broke and all that, so I hate that for him. But, all right, other than that, moving on to real dirt racing where we have fenders. Kind of the news items. We had a couple drivers make some changes here. JD, who all of us like, has decided to go with the pick and choose schedule. Not sure what that means. Hope that means we see him up here around the house. I'll imagine that means we'll see him at Tazewell probably for that big race in April. There's a good chance of that, I would hope and think. Jimmy Owens not competing in Speed Week supposedly at all, so that's kind of hard, kind of sucks. I think he's doing a little crew chiefing down there. Dalton Wilson and Terbo both gonna run World Outlaws this year. I feel like the World Outlaws has a pretty decent little following this year.
Yeah.
I know last year that was something we were talking about, is how much better Lucas was, and I don't know that that's going to be the case this year. So really kind of curious to watch and see what all shapes out between those two tours again. So the Wild West Shootout, before everything got started off, went out there like 5-6 nights, something like that. RTJ wins night 1. So in case anybody was curious, Ricky Thornton Jr. is still fast. They had about 46 cars out there, from what I remember. A decent night's racing. RTJ had to leave after that and go to the Chili Bowl, so he only got him 1, Happens. After that, Hudson ends up winning the 6. Ethan Dotson gets a win. Hudson wins again. Garrett Alberson, that Saturday night show, I did actually get to watch every lap of that, and it was not a long feature, and it was just Garrett Alberson straight up belt to behind whipping. I hope to see him have a good year. Like Lucas, guys, I guess since JD's dropping off, I would really like to see him somehow win that championship if possible. So we'll see what happens that. Other than that, Sunday, this guy in a 32 car shows up, dominates. Okay. Now,
I
I
saw
like that. That's a good one. That's a nice one. So that leads us to the second thing that D-Watt talked about in his spiel when he gave us the preview for the episode. I really like it. It's a good preview for the episode.
Oh,
So JD and Turbo got into it out there, and then Hudson and Bobby Pierce got into it out there, right? So I don't know. I've watched the video a few times at this point. I'm sure y'all have on the JD Turbo situation. We'll talk about that first. JP, you look like you're just rared up, ready to go. So if you want to go ahead and let me hear that one.
I'm more reared up about Bobby. I couldn't give a about Terbo and
Okay, well,
Davenport.
D, what you want to cover the Turbo then?
Yeah, Turbo was kind of wild all week long on some of the restarts and how it would pass and how it would start and go. And Turbo, and I saw the clips. I think I was watching it live, and it was just one of those deals where Turbo's going to be aggressive, and he's not really going to care about the competition. He's going to do it his way, and if his way is okay with him, that's what it's going to do. And they were throwing the sliders, and then he slid them pretty good there in 3 and 4. JD gets up on the berm there, ends that part of the day for him. That feature was really good for him. He came back to second. So my biggest thing on that was these guys they're not young, and these guys are pros. Turbo just was going to be aggressive, and I didn't care for it. I'm a big JD fan, and I'm not going to care for that. And I like how JD's going to stand up for himself and his team. And some people might not like the pit stall decision he made, how he's going to prop up on his car. He's going to park in front of Turbo's spot, and he's going to, once Turbo gets done with his interviews, he's going to try to get to a spot. Well, he can't get to a spot. He's being blocked in. And I thought that was pretty cool. He was very chill about it. He was very calm. He wasn't wild. But then here comes Turbo, and he's over here, doesn't tell him what he's saying. He's rah, 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 and he's kicking his own car. And at that point, you got to see JD say something, and some people might say would like to see some contact there.
He's got to bust his ass.
Some kind of action there, some kind of busting going on, and but that was one of those deals where it's just it's early in the year, and these guys are already not getting along, so it could make for a long season. And those two are going to race each other at some point throughout this year, hit and miss here and there. So I guess my takeaway in all this is it's just the way these guys are going to race, and nobody really cares about anybody anymore. It's all about themselves, and that's what his decision he made, and that was my take on it.
Yeah, I mean, so Turbo's been this way for a long time. There's a reason that Turbo couldn't run a national tour for 3 years. I mean, he ran the World Outlaws, and he got in a fight about every night. Tore up a bunch of crap. I don't know how he really has a ride for a national tour, just because how much stuff he tears up, honestly. I like Turbo because he's exciting to watch, but then he ends up wrecking people I like, and I just can't handle it. If I'm being honest, it annoys me. As far as being a Davenport fan goes, I'll just tell you straight up, I'm probably one of the biggest Davenport fans you'll ever find, but when he parked in front of that hauler and he did not put his ass on the ground, I was upset and I was ready to sell it all. So, JD, if somehow this gets to you and you end up in that situation, you have to wreck him or you have to whip him, and nothing else is really going to cut it. Like, if you're going to park back there and you're going to pull the Ricky Stenhouse and you're going to wait for him, at least get your shot in. That's my opinion. I don't know. If not, just go back to trailer and, if I respect that he tries to be a clean racer, but it's just like, if you're gonna go sit back there like that, like we need to do something about it, right? I mean, and he could have got him early, and then the officials got in there, but he needed to just. I mean, Turbo was ready when he got out of the car. He was ready for it. I mean, he was going to take a whooping. I'm pretty sure. I don't know if y'all seen the size difference between the two of them, but I wouldn't want to fight Davenport mad. So I think, part of it is they drove all the ways out there to Arizona. He's not trying to get thrown out. So that's a whole nother thing we're going to get into here when we get to Volusia talking about that. But I don't know. If they have more contact, I expect to see some race car damage or some right cheek damage. Like, that's what I expect. So, JP, would you like to talk about Bobby and Hudson? And you go ahead and move this on into Volusia if you want to.
Bobby doesn't race. He just drives like the whole track is his. He doesn't care if there's a car outside. He's going to put it on the inside fence, and he's going to take that car, and it's going to go all the ways to the wall, and whatever is in that line is his. It's junked. Bowl and Bobby trying to do everything he can to junk as many cars as he can. And it's just ridiculous, dude. He can't take it, but he'll give it all day. It's ridiculous. Somebody needs to bust his ass this year.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Now,
I mean, we saw it last year. He was doing it late last year, and then here we go again this year. And I guess I'll kind of go ahead and go on my take on this, Casper.
Yeah.
You know, it's one thing to do it once to just keep doing it, and he's so good. The kid's got talent, and he's just like JP said, he's just going to use up that racetrack, and it's all his. It ain't nobody else's. He owns the whole track. He owns the property. He owns it all. He owns a pit stall. He just owns everything at these tracks. You know, he's won championships, and he's got the money, and he's got the talent, and I don't know. It's just mind-boggling to see someone like him act like that, and he's got a lot of fans, and he's got a lot of people that don't like him. And I think he's just got something's got to give here. He's got to somehow tone it down a little
He's
bit.
got to grow up, dude.
Grow up, yeah. Something's got to
He
happen.
races everybody like it's the last lap of the damn World 100. Every lap that he's on the track, and then when he gets raced hard, he just junks him for no reason. He can serve it, but he can't take it.
yeah. So to that point, you know, they got down there to Volusia. It was Volusia with Corey, right?
Yeah.
And Corey Hedgecock, who we're all a fan of, door panels up here. D-Watt's got a door panel on his wall. We all got shirts and all that. He's from up here around our area. We like him pretty good. He's down here driving the 79 car first weekend out. And I felt like he raced Bobby about like Bobby races, kind of what JP was talking about. He was a little bit slower, and he was in the way, and he was running the whole track wall to wall, and Bobby didn't like it and dumped his ass. I mean, like, I don't know. I did think, one of the things I think was interesting, in that whole deal is, like, the day after that, you had Dotson and what's-his-face, Strickler get together, and they parked both of them because they had contact under yellow. But Bobby just going to spin somebody out and we're not going to say anything? So, like, what is World Outlaws' new rules? I mean, have y'all ever heard this thing about if you hit
He's
under yellow?
That's why.
I mean,
Yeah,
I
I've
get
never heard of that either.
I get it, but so that's their new thing. I mean, that's what they said on the broadcast. Ruben's like, well, because they made contact under caution, intentional, they are both disqualified from the event. So, like, first of all, Terbo probably better jump the tour because he's probably going to hit somebody under yellow this year, right?
If you hit somebody under caution, even if you're the one that gets hit, you get parked. Is that the rule?
That was
somebody signed me up to get in the car and run over the 32 every race. I'll do it for free.
No. They did the mutual, swapped it back and forth because they made contact and wrecked, and they both hit each other back there on the back stretch. Is what happened there.
I see. I thought it was a Milfoff system. If it was that, somebody put me in a car, I would gladly run over.
I mean,
Bobby
I guess
every week.
My thing is, and I do understand from the aspect of, like, we have safety officials on the track. You don't want anybody getting hurt. You don't want somebody on a four-wheeler getting hurt, somebody standing there. I get all that, but, like, man, to eject them, how about put them at the back? Like, I don't like it. And like I said, for real, Tyler Erb is going to struggle to make it through because he's been one for years to run up next to somebody and put a door on somebody under yellow. I don't feel like there's anything wrong with that. I feel like if somebody spins you don't like it. I'm not talking about dumping somebody. I'm not talking about pulling the, Michael Page. Like, I'm talking about, like, run up and rub somebody. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I do think that a lot of that got out of hand last year, and that's probably where that rule came from, but too much. I don't know how Turbo's going to survive it. So, we've talked about him already. So, this year, the question is, between Turbo and Bobby Pierce both running World Outlaws, I mean, the potential is there for that to be a fight every night between those two. The question is, can Turbo catch him? Like, can that team get that? Is it best performance motorsports or whatever it is?
Yeah.
The one car. Can they get that thing dialed in, or do y'all think Bobby's going to run away with it again?
I hope not. I hope Bobby absolutely sucks this year, but I mean, I would hope with the more people running the series that they might be a little closer, but I mean, you know how racing is. You never know until you know. I mean, one year somebody can hit the nail on the head with the car, and the next year not, but we'll just have to see.
Do what?
Yeah, I think Bobby's going to run away with it, and I think Turbo, if he can be competitive, I think he's just the thing about Turbo is if he gets caught up in some of the B mains and whatnot, then he's gonna have a hard time. But I think just car wise, he's going to have to find some speed. But if he can find the speed and keep up with Bobby, then those two could definitely go at it. And he's not going to care. Turbo's not going to care. He's just going to race those guys hard. And we'll see. I'll be curious if he ever gets ejected out of these races through a heat race, tangle, or something like that to cause his points to be bad that night.
Yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and make the ugly Turbo prediction. Sorry, Uncle T, but based off of your proven record, now you this is 2026 is your year to prove me wrong and do something different. But my prediction is Turbo jumps off this tour sometime around when the L Tour starts because he's gonna be so far behind. If he wants to make it through a full national tour, he has got to learn how to calm down, man. Like, yes, you have to drive when it's time to drive in the feature. But you can't be up here beating and banging in a freaking heat race for third. Just get in the feature, right? Like at the end of the day, you got to get in the feature in these shows. And my prediction is he can't do it. I don't think he's got the patience. He's got the talent. I'm not saying he doesn't have talent. I don't think he has patience. And frankly, I don't know he has race cars right now either. That's the other thing I would say. Bobby's clearly got the Longhorns figured out, and whatever shocks they run, I think they've run some different shocks this year. And I know them power plants coming out of Moshheim, Tennessee, about 10 miles up the road. I know they got it. So, Bobby's going to be tough for sure on World Outlaws. But I hope to see somebody up there to compete with him this year. At least you got a couple more chances for that. So, I guess to cover all of this contact talk, and this is another theme that I want us to watch for the year, is like guys that learn how to race in different parts of the country on different racetracks. So, it seems like all those Midwest guys, Illinois, Iowa, Texas, whatever, not the Southeast, do this whole slider thing. And I think that they race, and JP, this is probably something you need to pay attention to and help me out here. But I think they race with the attitude of like, if I slide you, it's on you to lift and then pull back under me. And then over here, I feel like they try to race clean, and it's like, you got to get the drive, and then you got to get the spot, and then you got to pass them. And they'll let you go once you get some ground on them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
In the South, they almost race more like asphalt than like Midwest dirt. You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Yeah, I mean, that's a fact, though. I mean, the tracks in the South are generally have more clay and it gets slicker, and you can't race like that. Out there in the Midwest, their track is hooked up all night, every night. You're just wide open on the throttle the whole race. I mean,
I
it's
guess
just how you have to drive the tracks,
and this brings me to probably my personal crusade for the year is bring back banked racetracks. Okay. We've fallen in love with these flat Fairberries, and Fairberry's a great racetrack, but not every track needs to be Fairberry, okay? I watched some good racing at Cleveland Speedway, really banked racetrack. We watched Billy Ogle Jr. and Ray Cook go back and forth, I believe, for about 35 laps there in a 50-lap feature. Every single turn for that many laps, green flag. It was probably the best race. I would say it's definitely top 5 best races I've ever witnessed in person. You look at places like Tazewell, yeah, it might not always have the most passing, but my gosh, you have to be able to drive there, right? Bulls Gap, same way. If you can't bounce it off that wall and turn to it, Bulls Gap, you're slow. And then you have to figure out if you're going to run the top or the bottom. So I guess my thing is I'm looking forward to seeing some different tracks this year, and hope that we don't, let's bring back the banked racetracks. That's my hope. Let's bring back some big banked racetracks, and let's not be scared of them, and let's hopefully have some good racing on them this year. But we'll see what happens. I'm really curious to watch the World Outlaws, and I feel like they have a potential for some big time officiating problems by creating this rule about contact under yellow, you're parked. I don't know. It also takes a lot of the fire out, because I like to see these guys get pissed off. I mean, don't y'all?
No, yeah.
At the end of the day, that's what I like to see. So I guess that about wraps it up. We can cover the Sunshine Nationals real quick, I suppose. Chris Madden debuts in Infinity on Thursday night. Whoops them. Is anybody surprised that Chris Madden can still drive a race car fast?
No.
Not surprised, but that car, it looked good. The purple and the black, that was a good looking car.
Yeah, you're off the show. I mean,
Get out of here.
Fired. I mean, that's fine. We know you like Chris Madden. You got a little bit of a thing for him. That's fine. But I don't know. I used to like Infinity race cars. I used to like Wells Motorsports, and then they went and got Chris Madden's. I just hadn't liked him for a long time. It goes all the way back to North Georgia. I never liked him. He put my boy in the fence. I didn't like it. Never liked it. feel like he's got a crap attitude. I just don't like the guy. So it's what it is. Hudson gets a win in the 6 car at Volusia Friday night, and then T-Mac gets a W on Sunday. Big win for T-Mac. One thing I want to talk about Hudson getting his win. So Hudson's got 3 wins this year on the 6 car. He hadn't even got in the 71 yet. So
Yeah.
it's like, what is he going to do when he gets back with his SSI team? Y'all think he's going to be able to carry this momentum, or you think it's going to be a problem?
I think he's going to suck. He doesn't have them Kevin Rumley speed secrets in the 71 machine.
I think he'll be pretty mid-pack. He may have a couple of good runs, but I think he's just kind of something like last year. He might kind of finish strong, but he's just going to be kind of an mid-pack driver.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we'll see. I mean, so he's running Lucas. So to put him mid-pack of who at this point? I mean, him and Moran, and I guess Shepard. Yeah. Shepard's running Lucas, I guess. So, I mean, I feel like Hudson. Hopefully I feel like him and Rumley are really getting along. You know, they did this a little bit last year. This is the most they've raced consecutively. And then, you know, we saw what happened when Davenport was getting the Rumley support, right? He dominated for a couple years. So maybe this is a way for Hudson to get a little bit of help from Rumley on the other car as well. And they don't really need help. They're fast enough anyway. So they're not necessarily top fast, but man, if you add a little Kevin Rumley shock magic into that, you might be getting somewhere. So I'm really curious to see what happens. That's kind of the one. I feel like this needs to be a big year. I think if Hudson wants to win a championship, I think this might be the year that he needs to kind of get up there and do it. So we'll see what happens with that. Big crate counts as always at Volusia for the Sunshine Nationals. Great show. They did a great job running this show. It was pretty effective, efficient. So always good to see that. But other than that, coming up this weekend, we got Southern All-Stars at Screven. Is it Motorsports Complex, I think is what they call it now? Something like that. Winter Freeze. I don't know what it is. But anyways, it's going to be on Flow this weekend. So you guys be sure to watch. I think Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Gonna have some decent cars down there. Brandon Overton, Cody Overton. There's some more national cars are gonna show up. They just haven't committed yet. So I'm hoping the All-Stars stay on Flow all year. I like to watch that series. So kind of curious to see what happens there. And then after that, we'll be back to Volusia next week for the Sunshine Nationals, or not Sunshine Nationals, but Federated Dirt Car Nationals, or whatever it is. We're gonna go chase the gator or something, something like that. So we'll see what happens there. But I don't know. Definitely looking forward to that. And we'll see. I guess I'm going to go ahead and ask it, since World Outlaws has officially started. Go ahead and make a way too early championship prediction. We've already got 3 races in. That should be enough, JP. You should know who's going to win it. So go ahead and make your pick now.
Tyler.
Wow. You're an idiot. I'm going to take Gustin, and D-Watt obviously is taking the layup as he always does because he's trying to get wins, not get clicks. So good job, D-Watt. You probably just won it. Congratulations. So we'll see what happens there. All right, moving on to the NASCAR nonsense. Basically, we already talked about the point system, so congratulations on that. Other news that we want to point out is Ram will be here in the Truck Series. Tony Stewart is going to run the Daytona race in a truck, attempt to make it, which leads me to some interesting news where NASCAR is essentially guaranteed Ram starting spots on the grid, and I felt like JP would just have some big feelings about this. So go ahead and let him rip.
I don't really necessarily have any big feelings about that, really.
Really? Okay. Well, hey, that's fine. So if Cadillac just rolls in this year in Formula One, you think they should just go ahead and guarantee him a spot in the top 10 in the points?
No.
Okay. I mean,
they're not guaranteed a spot in the top 10 in points. They're guaranteed a spot to race.
Yeah, but that's different. They paid their money. Like, you're bringing a manufacturer into here. Like, you got to qualify like everybody else. What's the difference? I don't understand why we made spots that literally only for a new manufacturer can get the spots. That's dumb. Nobody else can have it. I'm sorry.
Here's the thing that I've learned in my life. There's a lot of that's just dumb, and you just got to live with it.
You could have just said life ain't fair. But anyways, it is what it is. I think it's kind of silly that they're doing all that. I'm not a fan of it. They should be able to race their way in. If they can't race their way in, get faster. I mean, at the end of the day, these are the same truck as everybody else is running, just with a different nose on it. So let's not act like the trucks aren't spec cars, right? So we'll see what happens there. Hopefully, I'm excited to see Tony Stewart. Did y'all see the Kyle Busch comments after that? I think it was in the text group. That was probably the highlight of that whole situation. No, Kyle Busch was basically like, I don't know why he wants to do that. I told him there's 0% chance he's going to finish the race. He said something like, does he want to see my last bill for my last Daytona race when I was a truck owner or something like that? So Don't know. I'll be pulling for Tony to get the dub if that happens. So the other thing, Ram Race for the Seat. Pretty interesting little show. I don't know if y'all have watched it. I know D-Watt's been real busy with his podcast. Probably not a chance to. JP, you seen any of it?
I have watched a little bit of it. I don't know. I couldn't watch it. I've seen like the pictures where they have the point standing things, but that's,
Yeah.
I don't know. I
So-
tried to watch it and I just couldn't get into it. It was kind of weird.
As of right now, I think 5 episodes have been released. I've made it through 4, and I've enjoyed it. I thought I like the fact that they did more than just the racing. There's
Yeah.
also like they have to do some of the sponsor stuff, and I think the 5th episode that's out that I haven't watched was maybe like some kind of they had to do some conditioning, and
Yeah.
they had to shoot a commercial, do press stuff, and I do like that matters because that is part of being a race car driver. That's just a part of the deal. It really is starting to seem like Minnie Tyrell is probably going to win the thing. I was obviously pulling for Carson Ferguson.
Hey, he's
or
in second,
our
I'm
dirt
pretty
boy.
sure, the last time I saw.
He was in second or third when I saw, and he's kind of quiet, but
Yeah.
I think he's doing a good job. Clearly, he didn't make it. We've seen his raps and stuff for this
Yeah.
year, so he's not the winner. Like I said, I'm pretty sure Minnie Tyrell's probably going to win
Yeah.
this thing. We haven't made it to that yet, but I don't know when that's going to get announced, but I mean, whoever it is going to have to be on an entry list for Daytona in the truck. And those will come out Tuesday. So I'm assuming we get the winner of this thing this
I
weekend.
think it's Saturday.
So I'll be trying to catch up maybe tonight, finish that 5th episode, and then be ready for the finale or whatever. But
Also, I'm pretty sure I can confirm it's Minnie Tyrell because there's some YouTube videos from an ARCA test when he's down there in an ARCA car, and I don't think he would really have plans to race ARCA other than if he was going to trucks.
he did run ARCA last year, just for the record.
Did he?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know that.
But yeah, you're probably not wrong. So we'll see what happens. Definitely looking forward to watching that. The Clash got snowed out. Obviously, this was supposed to be a post-Clash show, was the original plan, but is now a pre-Clash show if the Clash happens. So snowed over the weekend in Winston-Salem. They had to cancel it. There's not going to be heat races. Now, this is going to lead to qualifying straight into the last chance race, which I believe is like 50 laps. Like, it's not a lot of laps. They're only taking 2 out of 22 or whatever that's going to start that. I do think that'll be must-watch TV. So if you guys are at home or wherever you're at, try to be tuned into that 4:30 on Fox Wednesday. Obviously, you have to listen to this podcast pretty quick if you want to see that. But if not, that's something you might want to go back and watch the highlights because there will be some beating and banging and get out of my way. Thank you, sir. One thing I want to talk about with the Clash, being there's only 23 cars will start the show, 20 fast qualifiers, 2 from the LCQ, plus a fast time provisional, which would be the fastest driver not qualified into the race. There's a lot of guys that this is not a good way to start their year. Think about the Justin Haley's. I'm sorry, I said the wrong name. Daniel Suarez in 7, going to a new team. Like, if he doesn't get in, kind of a big deal. Half these guys are going to miss. At this point, the field's so strong in the Cup Series. Like, 20 and somebody good is going to miss a race, right?
Yeah.
Somebody that you would expect to be in there is going to miss. I was talking to Pops last night, and I was like, man, even like Penske, Hendrick, Gibbs, like, I mean, there's a chance. I would imagine that they're not going to get, all of them are not going to get all their cars in, right? Like, somebody has to miss.
Yeah.
So, really curious to see what happens there. So be sure to watch. I'm ready to watch a race. So I'm excited for it. It's kind of cool that we get it on Wednesday because I was talking to my child about this. I was like, hey, listen, race tomorrow. And then we get to race after that every day. Okay. Because we got Volusia, Screven, Volusia, Daytona again, qualifying next Wednesday night. So, race season's here, hot and heavy. We kind of had a long off season. I was thinking about it today when I was eating dinner for this. Like, it's been a while since we've been on here, and I miss doing it. But dang, here we are. Time to go. Firing back up strong. So looking forward to it. But y'all got any Clash things you're looking for? Anybody you're excited to see race? Or, I mean, you're pumped about the Clash? You think it's dumb? Opinions?
I love it. And my boy Carson Hocevar, met him at the Dome, talked to him. He's going to win the Clash. He's going to win the Daytona 500. He's going to win every race after that. So you can just go ahead and write the championship check to Carson Hocevar.
Yeah. Carson, if you do happen to like win, we'd be glad to go to Bristol with you and be your bodyguard, just for the record. I'm about 6'7". 6'7". He's about 6'3", and we'll whoop anybody you need us to, no problem. We know you're going to run somebody over because that's what you're good at. So, D-Watt, what's your take on the Clash? You like it? You think this is last year? It's going to be in Winston-Salem. Is this thing getting moved back to Daytona after the snow?
I like it, but I don't like where it is with the weather-wise. Like, who in the heck thinks you can race somewhere not in California or Florida this time of year? But I talk about the race wise. Yes, I like the race. I like how it's non-points. Just it's all about winning, and I hope to see some tempers. I hope to see a little bump and run. Hope to see these guys not get along early and often. And it's going to come down to that. It's going to come down to the feature, yes, but it's going to be all about your qualifying. Last chance. It's going to be getting in there. Top two going to advance. So you're going to have to be able to dig deep and get somebody out of the way. And maybe we'll see a driver back in the pits all propped up waiting on somebody. That'd be kind of cool. Get a little box of this screen and that screen going and do a little double box and see these guys duke it out a little bit. But no, it's just as a fan. It's been a long off season, and just to see cars back on the track gonna be cool. Small track, football field in the infield there. I wish they would leave the snow in the infield, which I understand they can't. So maybe get some piles, kind of like what you're saying on my show, Casper. Just get some big piles in the infield to keep some of the snow around, and just a tough deal with the weather, which last year was fine, no problems last year. So you just don't know what you're gonna get this time of year, but I'd almost like to see it go somewhere warm. I didn't love it out there in LA. Cool concept. Daytona have it. I know they had it in the road course in the past, and everybody's gonna have their opinion about the road course thing. Have it on the big tracks, fine. I know that get some cars tore up on some big wrecks and whatnot, but you can't please everybody. So have it somewhere there in Carolinas and see how it goes.
Hey, I saw some videos the other day talking about when they had whatever they call it, the short course at Daytona, and they had the modifieds and all kinds of race there. Bring it back.
No,
Let's have modifieds. Let's
No.
have cars tour. Let's have the trucks. Let's have Let's make this a
No.
week-long deal.
no. Me and D-Watt watched that. I know that you were too young, but me and D-Watt watched that. I know you remember this, D-Watt. I know you remember watching this. Remember, it was like they did that. It was every night on Speed Channel during that week. They did that week down there on the backstretch. It was like UNOH sponsor. They had the modified.
Yeah.
I think Greg Stefanik had a pretty famous comment down there, if I remember right.
Yeah,
Something about
I saw
getting
something about
wrecked.
that.
It was like, I mean, dude, it was the dumbest racetrack. Now, granted, now they could make one bigger because they paved all that grass back there.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. I was having to explain this to to a race car driver last week that they can't do that anymore because there's no stands on the backstretch. They took that crap down.
Yeah.
So like you'd have to build stands back to do it. I just don't think that's the answer. I like the speed weeks. New Smyrna. I'd be okay taking the Clash to New Smyrna or anywhere in Florida to a short track. You really want me to tell you where they should take it? I can tell you. I know where I'd have the Clash next year. Straight up, 100%. You want me to say
Where's
it?
that? Say it.
Freedom Factory. Just line it up, lock it in, it'll
Let's
be perfect.
do it.
I think you have
Make
the Clash at the Freedom
NASCAR great
Factory.
again. That would be badass.
See if maybe you can get some kind of NHRA All-Star event down there, paired up with it at the drag strip, and absolutely set Florida Speed Weeks on fire. Cletus, if you do it, please invite us. We'd be glad
Here's
to
the
come. That's
thing.
a great
Here's the
suggestion, I
thing.
know.
You have the Clash, and then immediately after, every Cup driver gets in a Crown Vic, and the last car running wins.
Yeah, I mean, you could do something like that. I'm not going to get into that, but I mean, I don't know. I'm just saying, like, do it down there. That'd be awesome. Like, do you think? I mean, I'm telling you, Cletus could make something pretty cool.
They would. There would be so many people there. It's not even funny.
But the whole idea of this Bowman Gray thing is go to small racetracks and let them experience it, pack it out with the top for one day, right? Like that's the whole point of the Clash. So wherever you go, just pick another small track, move on, and let's do that. Okay, like that's what I want to see. Maybe move the All-Star race to Bowman Gray. I don't have a problem. I kind of like the All-Star race at Bowman Gray concept. I know a lot of people don't want to see that, but I'm okay with that. I think Bowman Gray don't want to be racing there in February. So anyways, you heard it here first. Next year, the Clash at the Freedom Factory. Donald Trump, Cletus McFarland, NASCAR. Let's make it happen. And if y'all get us three there, I'll be glad to call. I mean, I can commentate if you want. No problem. I'd love to go there.
I believe it can happen. If we can get an IndyCar race in D.C., we can get the Clash at Freedom Factory.
I mean, we could even call it the Clash for the Biff. Shout out.
There you go.
So we'll see what happens there. I don't know. That'd be pretty cool if that did happen. But other than that, looking forward to watching the Clash tomorrow night. You guys be sure to tune in, watch it, and then check back in with us on Monday at 8 p.m. on YouTube. Get the premiere. Watch it live. Back like the good old TV days, and we'll see what happens, man. I'm excited to talk about it and get to see the fights and us break those down. So Other than that, I got a list of races we'd like to kind of go to maybe this year and here. We're not going to go through that in this episode because we ended up talking about a lot more stuff. This was the same one that I was going to do when we were going to do one like 3 weeks ago. So we're going to skip that. But other than that, we're going to move on into the picks for the week. Finish it up. I think I got another slide. There we go. Last year's winner, D-Watt, okay? Congratulations. Glad you got the win. I'm still your daddy. All right. Moving on. Week 1. We're not having a flex this week. We'll probably start the flex when we start getting some more race options than what we have right now. So I expect that to start next week on Monday. But week 1, the picks are going to be the Clash, a Scriven winner, and the Super Bowl, okay? So y'all feel free to make your picks. I'll go first. Clash, I'm going to take the 8 of Kyle Busch to get the dub.
Dang.
Old man getting it back together at Bowman Gray. D-Watt, who you got?
Give me the young man. Give me the 12. Give me the Menards driver, Ryan Blaney.
He ain't young no more. You can hang
He
that
ain't
up.
doing
You can hang that up. Easy. I got to edit this in 30 minutes for this premiere. Golly, killing me, Smalls. JP, who would you like for the Clash? Is it by any chance going to be the one on your hat?
Give me Hurricane Hocebar, baby. We're going to ride the Dente till the Dente's gone.
All right. Well, hey, I'm all about eating some chilies. I eat about every week now. So, all right, Scriven. Going on in there first. D-Watt, we'll let you go first. You want to give us your Scriven pick for the Southern All-Stars deal Saturday night?
Saturday night. Give me the Tyler Erb. He's going to drive a little wild, but he's going to get the win Saturday night.
I like it. I just want to clarify. If Saturday gets canceled, this will just fall back to whatever the last race they run down there is for the winner, okay? But this is for Saturday, okay? All right. JP, who you got?
Give me Little Sexy Cody Overton.
Little Sexy on probably his 5th motor of the year at this point.
We're doing it.
We didn't talk about that. Cody Overton blew both of his motors in one night at Volusia, and he's supposed to be running the World Outlaws Tour. Pop 2, night number 1. That is a tough 100,000, 120,000, 150,000. I don't know how much a motor is these days. Way to start the year popping 2 motors in hot laps. So, hate that for him. But, yeah, it'd be good to see him go down there and get a win. I did see he is confirmed. I'm going to go with his big brother, big sexy, Brandon Overton, the 76 machine. Get her done down there in his home state of Georgia. All right. Other than that, Super Bowl picks. All right. JP, did you change your pick here or what?
No, I just picked that because
Okay, I'm gonna let you
I
pick.
saw that y'all did not
See, I
pick
changed mine
that.
on the slide, so that's why I'm asking because we were all gonna be the same. So, D-Watt, we'll let you go first. Who are you picking at the Super Bowl?
Oh, baby, Super Bowl 60. Give me the Patriots to win the Super Bowl.
All right, JP.
No, you're next. I see what you're doing here.
I'm gonna take the Seattle Seahawks to get the win, just because everybody else
give me
is gonna
that
take
one.
the Patriots.
No, I see. Look, I had the Seahawks on the thing.
Yeah,
because I saw that you both here say Patriots.
But see, I changed mine on this one back here. So, anyways, it's kind of dumb for me to unveil the picks before we do that. We got to work all that out. But we're trying to make it a little bit bigger and better here on Caution Flag Contemplations Season 4, 2026. Hopefully, it's gonna be a good year. The plan's gonna be make these things less than an hour. We're gonna come in here at 6, knock them out, have them posted by 8. We're gonna have a great time. Okay, that's the plan. So. Thank y'all for listening. Hot minute, real quick. You got approximately 30 seconds pop. JP, let her rip.
So I know we're going to talk about your favorite racing series already. Formula One, they got the all new rules this year. And there's a loophole that apparently Mercedes and Ferrari has found with the compression ratio. They have limited the compression ratio, but they found out that if you make these super expensive pistons that's essentially 3D printed metal, that it expands in certain places when it gets hot and raises the compression ratio. So if you do not have a Mercedes or Red Bull engine this year, you're probably screwed.
That's what I want is a 3D plastic motor printed plastic motor at Monaco. That sounds like a great idea. D-Watt, what you got?
Let's talk about the Braves real quick a little bit. Waiting on their TV contract decision. It came out yesterday, was it? That they're going to make their own broadcast or something like that. So I am very curious on how to watch my Braves in 2026.
Yeah, my prediction is they end up on the CW. There you go. My hot minute is going to be, I'm tired of the AI news on Twitter, Facebook, and X and all this crap, especially this racing stuff. I've seen today that Cletus McFarland is going to drive a Ford, a Dodge, and a Chevy at Daytona next week. So if we could get that under control ASAP, that would do better. You idiots that keep commenting on it, believe in this stuff, please don't. Just come here, Caution Flag Contemplations, and ask us. Just send us a message. We'll answer it on the show, whatever. But do not share this crap. I report it every time. It's so stupid. But yeah, that's my hot rant for the day. It's very hard to keep up with the news, and y'all be careful looking at this AI crap. So other than that, thank y'all for being here. It is 2026, season 4. It's going to be the best, the biggest, the baddest. Thank y'all for being here, D-Watt, JP. It's going to be a good year. We'll see y'all at a racetrack. Enjoy the clash. Have a great night. We out of here. Oop, I got to find the button. See, I'm rusty. Thank y'all for listening to the Caution Flag Contemplations podcast. Our theme music is Hard as Steel by Alex Productions. Thank you all for listening. Hammering down. Find a good race to watch. We'll see you next time.